and welcome to the Cornell Johnson session at MBA Spotlight. My name is Alan. I'm a current GMAT Club intern for the School Pages project. We're very excited to bring you all the information about the schools you're applying to in about 1 or 2 months. And it is my pleasure to present to you Eddie Asby, who is Executive Director of Admissions at Cornell, has been there 12 years and has been in the Executive Director role for 4. And we're going to bring you a full overview of the full-time MBA program and some critical information you need to know to be successful in your applications. And then after the brief presentation, we'll open it up for Q&A, and I'll do my best to present as many questions to Eddie as possible. For everyone in the audience, we have 2 ways for you to engage. On your screen to the right, there is a chat tab and a Q&A tab. I'm going to advise posting your questions in the Q&A tab because after the presentation, I'll be going over the top upvoted questions in those Q&A tabs and asking them to Eddie. After the session, I believe Cornell has a student available in the student booth. Is that correct, Eddie?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, awesome. And then in that case, I'm just going to give a quick disclaimer that this is the session that we have been having a little bit of internet issues. It's the one that the internet decided to hate. So in case anything is unclear or needs to be repeated, feel free to put it in the Q&A section. That's where it's most likely to be seen. I'll be trying to catch up on the chat as well. But yeah, we'll try to help out there. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Eddie.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Alan. And of course, thank you to everyone else that has joined the session today. As mentioned, my name is Eddie Asby. I am the Executive Director of Admissions and Scholarship with the residential MBA program here at Cornell University. As Alan had mentioned, I have been here at Johnson for 12 years and have been fortunate to lead our admissions efforts. So I'm really excited for you all to be thinking about the next steps in your MBA and really looking forward to sharing a little bit more about Johnson as well. So I hope that you can hear me okay. We will do our best, as we've mentioned about the internet, but really excited to be chatting with you a little bit further today. All right. So as I had mentioned, I represent the residential MBA program, the 2-year MBA program. But I thought it would be helpful just to start off by just talking about the various options that we offer here at Cornell, but most of the presentation will focus on the 2-year option as well. So as you can see here, there are a variety of different MBA programs that we're offering here at Cornell. From our 2-year residential MBA program, our 1-year Cornell Tech MBA program. There are 3 executive MBA programs, and then, of course, a variety of different specialized masters that you can see on here as well. One of the things that I think is really important is that you have a true sense of which program is the best fit for you, where you're going to succeed, and ultimately where you see yourself growing both personally and professionally. And I believe by any of the programs that we have here at Cornell, you will be really prepared for what we have to offer. But as I had mentioned, really this will focus more on our 2-year residential program, which is, I would say, the flagship of all of our programs here at Cornell. In our 2-year MBA program, we just, from our class that are going through their internship right now, our rising second years, that class, we enrolled about 285 in the class. And, for this upcoming year, looking to enroll a similar class size as well. So, we get asked all the time, what is, what makes Johnson unique? What is our community like, etc. And here you'll get just a snapshot of what your first year in the program, your second year in the program looks like, and of course, happy to answer additional questions. But what you'll notice, of course, in your first year, pretty similar to other business schools, where you're getting your core business fundamentals and the basic business knowledge within that first semester. So you're going to see that you have your core, you're working on leadership opportunities, you go through your core team experience. But one of the things that we noticed from an MBA is that many of our students are career switchers. They're looking at, switching careers, functions, roles, but ultimately looking to grow as a leader as well. And I believe that's something that our program will give you. In the spring semester of your first year, we have what we call our immersion learning program, which I will highlight in one of our upcoming slides, that will really immerse you into your particular career path, but also designed to prepare you for that summer internship. You go through the internship experience, and then in your second year, you'll know that there is that opportunity to really customize your program to the way that you see best fit, but also allows you the opportunity of exploring with our Cornell Tech campus located in New York City, collaborating with other programs outside of the business school, whether it's the law school, engineering, really, once again, building upon those leadership skills, et cetera. So one of the things that you will hear me say about our curriculum is the fact that not only are you getting the basic business knowledge and also the experience within your specific career path, but also you have the flexibility to tap into other areas, in our community here at Cornell. So as I had mentioned, one of the things that I believe sets our program, apart from others is really our immersion learning opportunity. The immersion happens in the spring semester, as I had mentioned, of your first year, but it is an opportunity for you to have that hands-on experience. And one of the things that we want you to do in our program is to really be able to work with business professionals, to work on actual projects with Fortune 500 companies, with local businesses, entrepreneurs, get feedback from professionals in the industry as well, but then also to take advanced level courses within those particular areas. And I think that this is one of the things, especially, whether you are looking at a career switch or whether you are looking at changing functions or roles, that the immersion will give you. When I look at some of the immersion options that we do have, you do have an immersion that focuses more on strategic product and marketing. There's one focusing on digital technology, investment banking. There's a management consulting immersion, which is new this year. There's a corporate finance immersion. And then there's also a customized option. So if you're looking to go into a very niche area, very particular area, there are an opportunity of selecting various elective courses to really be able to help build. One of the things that we get as far as feedback from professionals out there is how our students are well prepared in the process of recruiting due to the immersion, as well as other ways that our community are preparing our students. So as I had talked about before, more of the flexibility that we have. And for those of you that aren't familiar, we do have another campus on Roosevelt Island located in New York City. We have an actual tech campus where our MBA students here in Ithaca can also partner with the Cornell Tech students. I like to show this photo because it's a great, of course, beautiful view in New York City overlooking the skyline. But just imagine just taking classes with a view like that. So something to take into consideration. But most importantly is the programming and what we offer. So I'm going to highlight a few different options, and I'm going to go pretty fast on this just due to time and, of course, allow for questions. But we do have our New York City elective options, which is happens in the fall semester of your second year, where we offer courses on a Friday and Saturday. Please note that this is during one single weekend in your second year, but it allows you to not only connect with current Cornell Tech students, faculty, but also allows you to take and get a brief snapshot of some of the elective options that are available, but also just to give you a different experience, especially if you're looking to bridge the gap between business and the digital economy. We also have two intensives. There is our FinTech intensive and then our Culture and Media Technology intensive. These are 7-week intensives that happen in your second year of your MBA program. So in the spring semester of your second year, the semester right before you get ready to graduate, you have that opportunity of taking advantage of one of these 7-week intensives. You're actually living on the Roosevelt Island campus. You are taking elective courses. You are, once again, working with our Cornell Tech students as well. But it's really designed to immerse you into the FinTech space, but also allowing you to take various elective courses. Similar to the Culture and Media Technology intensive as well, also happens in the spring semester of your second year, where you're also able to take these very particular and specific elective courses focusing on culture and media technology. But once again, I think one of the best parts is the fact that you have the opportunity of really connecting with the Cornell Tech students, really being able to develop and expand on your networks, et cetera. So something to keep in mind when we talk about the flexibility of our program. The last thing that I want to talk about, especially when it relates to our Cornell Tech program, as well as the 2-year program, last year we just launched a 1+1 program. So just say you are a 2-year MBA student who is looking to take advantage of what we offer here in Ithaca, but also take advantage of what is offered in Cornell Tech. There is a 1+1 program. And once again, it's really designed for those who come from a technical background, who have an entrepreneurial vision, et cetera. But in the 2-year application, there is a question asking you, are you interested in the 1+1 program? We're going to look at your goals. We're going to look at your work experience. And for those who are admitted to the 1+1 program, you spend that first year here in Ithaca, where you go through the core, you go through your immersion learning, you go through your summer internship, but then in your second year, you go take advantage of the startup curriculum over at Cornell Tech and spend that full year at Cornell Tech. So another option for you as you're looking at bridging the gap between, once again, business and the digital economy. But of course, we know that it's much more than just the academic side of things and getting a great job. We know that it's the leadership component of it that's really important to you. And I think that Johnson does a great job of really developing leaders and helping you to really expand on the skill sets that you currently have, but then also developing on those skill sets. That's something that you're going to hear and see probably in all of our presentations on our website as well. We do highlight our 4 C's that focuses on competence, character, compassion, and courage. And these are some of the elements that we're looking for when you are looking to develop as a leader. But also, these are the 4 components that we look at as you go through various leadership activities. As you can see right here, and I would encourage you to go on our website to look at our leadership programs and things that we also offer. But here are some other ways, whether it is, being a mentor to our first year MBA students as a Johnson Leadership Fellow, whether it is sitting on the board of a local nonprofit here in the Ithaca area, whether it's being a leader of one of our 70 plus clubs and organizations. We want you to walk away with a great experience here in the Johnson community. Just wanted to put some numbers out there. And of course, these are things that you can find on our website, just talking about placement. These were some of the stats from the class of 2023, the graduating class of 2023, and our internship, offers from the class of 2024 and what average salary looked like. A lot of this, once again, you can find on our website. But one of the things that I want you to know is, from a career management standpoint, there are professionals that are designated to help you throughout your journey. So whether it is something that you mentioned in your application, and then it is a complete career switch that you're looking at doing, there is someone there to help guide you, whether it is preparing for the resume, whether it is, preparing for your interview, for conferences, for just helping you negotiate. The list goes on. There are members of our community here to help you in that journey. Of course, I just wanted to highlight some of the top recruiters from the graduating class of 2023. For the graduating class of 2024, we will be receiving that information probably over the next couple of months or so. But of course, you can find out additional statistics on our website under our careers tab on our website. Of course, got to highlight Ithaca. If you have not been to Ithaca, if you're just learning about Ithaca, Ithaca is located right in central New York. It is an amazing and beautiful college town. We're about 4 hours north of New York City. We are about an hour south of Syracuse, New York, if you're familiar with that location. For anyone coming from the New York City area, there's a campus-to-campus bus that runs 7 days a week from New York to Ithaca and from Ithaca to New York 2 to 3 times a day. But if you're looking for a community where there's waterfalls on the campus, we're in wine country within New York State, but also, once again, just an amazing community where the Ithaca community truly supports Cornell and vice versa. Those are things that you're going to get. So I would encourage you as you go through this journey to definitely connect with our students, our admissions team, as well as you are learning more about what Ithaca has to offer, and would love to have you come and visit if you're able to. So the last 2 slides before we jump into questions, I really just highlight briefly some of our potential application deadlines. Right now, what you are seeing is from last application cycle, from the 23-24 admission cycle. We will be announcing our 24-25 application deadlines soon, so I would say be on the lookout for that. But I do anticipate the deadlines being pretty similar. If you're applying directly to our Johnson program, we do have 3 rounds, round 1, 2, and 3, which is round 1 is typically the 3rd week in September. Round 2 will most likely be the 2nd week in January. And then, of course, our round 3 will also be around the 2nd week in April. And then, of course, with our process, we have an initial notification deadline, which guarantees you one of 3 decisions by the time that you've actually submitted your application, as well as a final decision deadline for those who have been invited to interview. If you are applying via the consortium, which the consortium is an organization primarily for domestic and permanent residents, that really supports the underrepresented population towards business education. And as long as you support that mission, once again, being a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident would qualify you for the consortium, but their application deadline is October 15th or January 5th for their early application deadline, as well as their traditional deadline. So once again, be on the lookout very soon for our official deadlines. And then the last thing, and once again, happy to address this within some of your questions as well, really just talks a little bit more about our application requirements. And once again, we will be announcing our 24-25 application requirements soon. So some of the things that you see on here may change. I don't anticipate many changes, but one of the things that I will say is if you are looking at submitting an application for this year, really put your best foot forward. You're going to hear a lot from schools about it being a holistic approach, but your work experience, understanding why you're a good fit for our communities, definitely from an academic standpoint, really being able to show and prove that you can truly handle the rigor of the core is going to be important. And then really just highlighting, once again, just why you're a good fit for our program is really important. So I'm going to stop right there. I know that I was given about 15 or so minutes to kind of go through my presentation, but I'm really excited just to answer your questions and to really share a little bit more about Johnson. So, Alan, I will hand it over to you with any questions that may have come through.
All right. Thanks so much, Eddie. Fantastic presentation. Before we go into questions, I'm going to just do show the quick poll of what round are the people in the chat planning to apply to Cornell Johnson. And looks like mostly round 1, a little round 2, round 3. Eddie, I did a little bit of research before, and I think that round 1 used to be called the priority round, and round 3 used to be rolling. How does that work? And could I ask about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had some changes over the last couple of years as far as rounds. We actually used to have 4. We used to have 4 rounds. And allow for a little bit more time within round 1, round 2, in particular. Our priority round, yes. So our priority round actually used to pertain to our 1-year MBA program, which we actually a couple years ago discontinued that. So once we moved back to just one and removed the 1-year program here in Ithaca, not the Cornell Tech program, we decided to adjust our rounds to also align more with some of our peers and within those timelines as well. So you will see round 1 pretty standard for September, round 2 for January, round 3 in April. On our end, we do accept applications still on a rolling basis, towards the beginning of June. But you will see, but we really do encourage candidates to apply within these 3 rounds.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eddie. All right, to start off the questions, one question I saw, but now I've lost it, but I've also seen it in the chat a lot, is there going to be an application fee waiver available to participants in the session?
Absolutely, yes. And yes, for those of you that have attended the session, yes, there will be an application fee waiver. So I see a lot of thumbs ups and hearts that are popping up right now. But we really appreciate you as how to obtain that fee waiver as you go through the process. So, after this session, and you will receive some type of communication from us as far as what that looks like. And please note that fee waiver, you won't be able to begin that process until our application goes live for the next admission cycle, which we anticipate that happening on August 1st.
Awesome. Cool. So now I'll get started on the top Q&A questions. Quick reminder to the audience, there's a Q&A tab to the right. Ask your questions there. Upvote, downvote where you're interested. You might see your question already there and fairly highly upvoted. All right, let's get started. The first question is from Sujay, and they ask also about waivers. Are there any test waivers available? So are there any test waivers available? Yes. So we do have in the application, there is an option to request a test waiver. And what I will say, though, is the test waiver is not for everybody, but also we understand that there are many candidates out there that can truly demonstrate strong academic performance, that they can handle the rigor of a quantitative core for business school, etc. So I would say use your best judgment if you are asking for the test waiver. And please note that with the waiver, once you've indicated that in your application, you've submitted your application, our team will go back. We do indicate, about 7 business days or so for you to receive a final word on if you've been granted the waiver or not. But what we are looking at is specific documentation in your application, whether it is academic performance,
whether it's certification, whether it's your work experience, etc. And then we will reply back to you if you have been granted the waiver or not. Once again, what I would just say though is use your best judgment on it. There are many candidates that have been granted a waiver. We know that they can do the work, but when I look at the overall competitiveness of the applicant pool, for some candidates, it just may have been best to take a test. And the way that I look at it for some candidates is, there's a lot of metrics and things that we take into consideration with our overall class profile as well. And for some candidates, especially if I see an applicant whose profile is exactly the same, one doesn't submit a test, one submits a test, especially if it's a competitive test, I will tell you, and just to be very transparent, I'm going with the test, and for various reasons. And so this is why I say use your best judgment on if the waiver actually makes sense for you.
All right. I believe that was answered. And now the next question is from, I'm like a little tech struggle, sorry. Also from Sujay, can you share more info about the Tech MBA?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So there is the 1-year Cornell Tech MBA program. Please note, and just full transparency though, that is a separate admissions office located in New York City that oversees that process. But of course, with the Tech MBA, it's a 1-year MBA program located in Roosevelt Island, as mentioned already. But what they are looking to do is really bridge the gap between business and the digital economy. They're looking for students who actually come from a tech background, and really looking to expand on that as well. So if you're someone who is looking to transition into the tech industry, the 1-year Cornell Tech program is not the best fit for you. You may want to look at a 2-year residential MBA program with a tech focus, because also keeping in mind the 1-year tech program does not offer the internship opportunity. So that's one thing that you want to take into consideration for the Tech MBA. But there are, the studio curriculum that they have and their startup curriculum where you are thinking about tech from an entrepreneurial perspective. You are, creating a product or some type of platform from scratch and really working with MBAs. You're working with engineers as well. But it is that 1-year experience, really, once again, focusing more all from the tech background that you're going to get from the Tech MBA. I will say that for this year's class, which they just started about a week ago, and they enrolled a class of about 95 or so in the program. So, of course, you're going to see the class size for the tech program a little bit different than the 2-year program as well.
Awesome. Okay, the next question is going to be from Nitesh, and he'd like to learn a little bit more about how does the Johnson MBA program integrate experiential learning opportunities, such as the immersion learning projects, to provide students with hands-on experience in solving real-world business challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So, I think of it from many different ways. One, we truly understand that hands-on experience is really important as you go through this process. I think that there's so much that you can do just listening to someone talk in a classroom, but actually going out there in the field to actually work on projects is something that's key to our curriculum as well. We have with once again, Fortune 500 companies. When I think about our faculty, many of our faculty are coming from the industries. So they're using their own professional networks and their partnerships to identify various projects that may be, really helpful to our students. So it could be something as far as an actual situation, and I'll just say CPG companies. Maybe there's a challenge that they're going through, and they're looking for our consulting students to really, come up with a solution to solve that actual project. Or maybe it is more from the tech side of things, and there is a new product that the company is trying to launch, and they're trying to launch it in an emerging market, region of the world, and it's coming up with actual solutions to solve for those various projects. But also, I think about to our alums. Our alums are always looking at ways of giving back to the community, and they identify various projects that they're going through with their actual companies, and they present these projects as well to our faculty leads within the immersion itself. So, this is something that you're going to go through from the time that you start here through going through the core experience, definitely through the immersion experience, but then also in your second year as we give you that flexibility. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Okay, cool. The next question is about language. And Thanawati asks, are you back?
I am, yes.
Okay, sorry. Thanawati asks, if English is not our native language, but we have graduated from a bachelor degree taught with English as a sole language of instruction, do we need the IELTS or the TOEFL?
Great question. And no, you do not. So what we will, one indicated on our website, we do let you know that, yes, if a median of instruction was conducted in English, we don't require TOEFL, we don't require the IELTS. But in your application, especially on your transcript, it does need to clearly indicate that from your school that it was conducted in English. But once again, you do not need to take the test.
Awesome. I'm guessing she'll be happy to hear that. All right. Now, the next question is from Debjani. And she asks, what specific qualities or attributes do you look for in candidates' applications from an overrepresented group?
Yeah, qualities. Let's see. I think, once again, when I think about the applicant pool, and probably the first thing that I look at, I go straight to your work experience. I want to see, okay, what has your career progression and growth look like? And, and I always say that it's much more than just seeing, your titles changing. It's actually looking at, all right, what projects and, projects that you're working on, that you're leading. Are you leading teams as well? And those are some of the things that I'm looking at. That professional growth can really take you far in the MBA process, but also in the recruiting side of things. So that's probably one of the things that I'm looking at. Of course, from an academic side of things, we want to know that you can truly handle the rigor of the core, and that you can clearly show that within the application process itself. I can't stress enough about fit and really understanding what your goals are. Why our program here at Cornell or Johnson? We want candidates who want to be here Ithaca is different. It's a different, type of a location, smaller college town compared to a larger metropolitan city. Like we can really tell in the process, whether it's through the application, definitely through the interview, who's really done their due diligence of getting to know who we are as a community in ways that they're going to see themselves contributing to the community. I also want you to really give it your all in this process as well. If you really think about the cost of an MBA, it is a lot of money for an MBA. So making sure that you do your due diligence in every step of the way, whether it's by connecting with our students, connecting with our alums, finding out specific things that we do. So if you have questions about the immersions or the intensives, learning more from our community about what does that actually look like? What are projects that you're working on? What are some of the things that you should be doing now to really prepare for the next steps? And I think those are some of the things that we're really looking for, when really identifying a candidate who's a good fit for the Johnson community.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to mark this answered. And now I'd just like to remind the audience that feel free to go and upvote your questions or ask more that you're looking for. That was the last question with more than 10 upvotes. So you have a big chance to influence what's getting asked. Okay, so the next question is from Piyush Kumar. And he asks, can a candidate pursue tech courses from Cornell while pursuing an MBA to get AI or tech specializations?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time, please?
Oh, yeah. Can a candidate pursue tech courses from Cornell while pursuing MBA to get AI or tech specializations?
Yes, absolutely. So kind of going back to the conversation that I had, that I've probably mentioned a few times about the flexibility. One, when I think about the courses that are offered here at the business school, either focusing on just the tech sector itself, there has been definitely more interest in AI that you're going to see as well in our curriculum, but also thinking about what you can do with the College of Engineering here. Once again, the flexibility of taking courses over at Cornell Tech as well. So one of the things I think Cornell and Johnson does very well is making sure that we stay relevant in what's happening in the business world. And when I think about tech is everywhere. It's in every industry out there. When I think about, a couple years ago, everything was more about fintech, cryptocurrency. Everything right now is based off of AI right now. And I think that it's really important that we stay on top of that. So you will see various, courses, you'll see workshops, you'll see opportunities to attend various conferences, guest speakers, in these respected areas as well. So I do feel confident in what Cornell has to offer, but great question.
Awesome. Then the next question is, oh my, sorry, they're bouncing around with the votes right now.
No problem. These are great. These are great questions, and the one thing that I can't stress enough is that that you keep asking these questions. You may attend various sessions similar to this. You may get similar responses as well. But the way I might talk about it versus someone else on my team versus a student, you're going to learn more. And I would encourage you to, keep asking those tough questions and really learn more about what the school has to offer. We love the work that we do. So, once again, I love these sessions to really be able to know what's on candidates' mind, but also I love my time and my experience here at Cornell.
Awesome. And before we go to the next question, I just want to give a heads up that we're nearing the 5-minute mark for the presentation. So the presentation will end at 12:45. So these are our last few questions. So audience members, get to upvoting your favorite ones. All right. And so Leah asks, is Cornell fit for startup founder or small, medium-sized entrepreneur non-tech in order to scale up their businesses?
So this is the one question. So when someone asks me, what are the two misconceptions about Cornell, I always talk about more of the entrepreneurial resources, but then also I think it's more on the recruiting side. Most people, some people feel like, with our location, do companies come to Ithaca? And I remind them, one, that, we're a world-renowned brand. Recruiters understand the quality of our students, et cetera. But to answer your question, this is one of the things that I wish that candidates knew more of about our entrepreneurial offerings that we have here. And whether you are, a small, company, startup, or you're looking to launch, or if you are, once again, just a more of a medium-sized company at this time and you're looking to grow, I truly believe in what Cornell has to offer. And you have to the way I look at it is, we have our entrepreneurial suites here at Cornell, and it's much more than just here at the business school that we allow our students to really be able to expand and grow. So, what I would encourage you to do is, one, go onto our website to look at our entrepreneurial options, whether it is Big Red Ventures, which is a student-run organization, also led by our faculty members that helps our students with working on a business plan, whether it's finding a business partner, whether it's finding funding, whether there are accelerators here on campus, whether it is our students who are partnering with our College of Engineers, whether it is them partner with our hotel school, health administration, you name it. There are many different opportunities here. So definitely, I think Cornell is a great option for that. And once again, one of those things that I wish that candidates would know a little bit more about.
Awesome. All right, next question, and probably second to last one, is one from Anna. And she wants to know a little about the experience you're looking for. Does Johnson accept students with 2 to 3 years of work experience? And do you consider internships in that experience as well? I would also like to know whether you prefer straightforward career paths or diverse backgrounds.
Yeah, great question here. So do we accept students with 2 to 3 years of experience? Yes, we do. I think if you look at our class profile, you'll see that our average student has about 5 years of experience. But once again, that's the average. And of course, that ranges. One of the things that I would encourage you to really focus on is the quality of work and not the quantity. There are times where I see someone with 5+ years of experience, and in that 5 years, they lack growth or really are unable to identify why this is the right time to get an MBA, where I see someone with 2 years, 3 years of experience. And in that time, they've really been able to show progression and really make an impact within the work experience. So yes, definitely. As far as internship experience, in our application, we do indicate that we're looking at post-undergrad experience. Of course, if you put your internship experience on your resume, it's something that we will look at, take into consideration, but we're really focused more on professional experience that you have. And, do you have a preference on, straightforward career paths or diverse background? Depends on what your goals are. If you are if you're looking to make a career switch into a certain area or industry, we're looking at transferable skills, or that will help you become successful in making that career pivot. If you are looking to stay in that same area, but you need the MBA to take it to the next level, then I understand how a straightforward career path will work. So, once again, what I will say to you is, as you go through this journey, making sure that you're as transparent as possible about what you want to do. We do understand that you may want to, change careers even once you get here, and that's fine. But I think with the admissions process, it's really helpful to be as transparent as possible. So I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Yeah, very detailed. I had my questions answered and I didn't even ask. Okay. Final question. A lot of people have been really interested in the application fee waiver, and they're looking for a review of how they're going to get the waiver after the presentation and how they're going to use it on the application. Could we ask you about that once more?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you all will receive an application fee waiver. So once we receive all the names from the GMAT club in particular, the names, we'll send a communication just thanking you for attending this session and joining our booths. But in there, it will outline instructions as far as how you receive that test waiver itself. For many candidates, keep in mind, once again, the test waiver won't be applied until our application goes live for the 2024-25 admissions cycle. We don't anticipate that going live until August 1st. But what I would encourage you to do is, one, save the email that you get from us about the test waiver. So save that email.
Just to clarify, you mean the application fee waiver?
I'm sorry. The application fee waiver, not the test waiver. So the application fee waiver. Wow. Thanks for correcting me on that. But the application fee waiver, save that email once the application goes live. Even if you just start an application, what we will do is eventually automatically update your application to indicate that you have a fee waiver. And what we will do is, once you get ready to submit, hit submit, you're ready to go. So once again, just be on the lookout for our communication from our team. And then once again, when the application goes live in August, even if you just start the application, we can apply that fee waiver for when you're ready to hit submit.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's the end of our presentation. So I believe Cornell has a student in the student booths, correct? At around 2 p.m., I believe. Okay, awesome. And then my script says that if you have any other questions, you can reach out to the admissions team at Cornell directly. Eddie, is that right?
That is correct. And I'm also happy to give you my personal email address if you have any questions. My email is ea356@cornell.edu. I'll put this in the chat as well. But if you have any questions, if you're ever interested in just jumping on a call, you have any questions, I'm happy to reach out. I'm happy to sit down with each and every one of you to talk about your program, your profile, to talk about Cornell, etc. But once again, hopefully you can see my email address in the chat, in the Q&A session.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And I hope to see you in a later session.
Great. Best of luck to you all.